Hello and welcome back to this Cities Skylines series, where today we're going to be making a bunch of hotels. I realised that my leisure district was a bit light on actually being able to house all the tourists, so I wanted to make some nice detailed hotels and kind of have a big section of the city that's kind of dedicated to tourists staying in big apartments and high rises, and then we're going to have some more upper class hotels that are just, like a Marriott, a Hilton, just something a bit fancier for those that want something less generic. I would like to start the video by apologising for the delay between this video and last video. I was having an issue with the new expansion that came out, Sunset Harbour. It kind of destroyed some of the mods that I use, and it basically made it so when I loaded up my save after the expansion was installed, my save was just completely bust. So I tried to experiment with turning mods on and off, but some of them were quite critical to the stuff that I've already laid out. So I was just holding off doing any videos until the mods kind of sorted themselves out, which thankfully they have done now. So I'm able to continue. So yeah, I'm just doing some of the shots that you can see. I'm trying to make quite an interesting area, so I added in this bit that you can see right now is kind of inspired by the fountains in Las Vegas. I've made a big tennis club because that seems like quite an upper class elitist thing that you would have in fancy hotels. I did a lot of detailing for like avenues. I added swimming pools, I added cool statues. I've done a lot of detailing on this one, and I'm quite happy with how it turned out, because yeah, I don't really like the generic hotels that you get with the base game, so I'm quite happy with all the detail I managed to get out of this one. If you are enjoying the series so far, please think about giving me a subscribe. If you're enjoying the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see me do anything in particular in the future, drop a comment below, and let's get into the time-lapse. So I wanted to start by making kind of a cheap hotel that was right next to the leisure district and the amusement park that we did last episode, and I found an asset that is very familiar to most British people on the store, which is kind of just like I think it's a travel lodge or a Holiday Inn or something. It's for those who are outside of the UK, it is a very generic chain hotel that provides really cheap rooms, and they're very basic, but you get what you pay for. And they tend to come with their own parking lot, so I thought I'd add that in next to it. And this is just kind of like the nice cheap hotel right next to the everything that's going on. I kind of based it on, there is one that I stayed at in Cambridge for my future sister-in-law's graduation, so I was just basing it on that. And then I did find some other cool assets, so I found a Hilton that had a nice like swimming pool out the back, and a nice like kind of arch driveway that I kind of wanted to make a use of quite a bit for my hotels. Was this nice kind of long arched driveway, or like a roundabout. The hotels that I really go in detail on, you'll see that I do that on nearly all of them. So that's why I really liked that asset. And then I just created a one-way road coming off our main road next to the transport hub, and then that'll let all the people coming into the city just find their hotels really easily. That's another reason why I kind of laid this area out just around here, so all the leisure have tourists that can stay around the corner that are in walking distance, and the transport hub that brings people in, it's not a far walk for tourists to actually get to the hotels. So with the Hilton, I wanted to do some detailing to make I have in my mind that this is one of the fancier ones and the more expensive ones. So I thought that this one would have like a really cool garden with some lovely trees and some ornaments, and that would be one of the main features of this. I've also put next to it a big tennis club. I kind of want that to be a really cool area for the richer people that come in to go. That seems to be like every time I see a picture of a fancy hotel on the internet or somewhere, it always seems to have a tennis court. So I thought, why not create a tennis club that, you know, the Hilton is directly attached to, but you can get to from the other hotels as well. Just some kind of joint area. And yeah, then started doing some detailing on the actual grounds, and I kind of tried to go for these weird eye shapes with the flowers. So you can see that I've done like the outline there, and then I've done the, oh, I always get this wrong, the iris, I think. Or is the iris the actual, I think the iris is the black part of your eye, I can never remember. But they kind of filled in the white part, and then I go back and add in some colour to the actual pupil. I just thought it was quite a nice little effect. Because I've done so much detailing with flowers in various parks around my city, I'm trying to give each one its own kind of unique identity. I don't really want to just be copying pasting random flower arrangements, because I don't want my city, I like the idea that my city is, you know, it's got its own aesthetic, but you wouldn't tend to see, like, if you go to different parks throughout the world, even in one city, they would all be differently laid out. You don't want to have the same generic repeating pattern. And then I just filled up some of the area with some just generic bushes. This one's right on the corner of the amusement park, so I did realise that halfway through, and I was like, would they put the really fancy, expensive hotel right next to the amusement park where all the noise is? But you know, it's not far from the harbour, the other sights to see. I thought it was fine there. I think this is the one I actually go into most detail on. I do one in the future a little bit that is, it's still quite detailed, but it's mainly about the avenues leading up to it. So there is like a nice roundabout that I put out front of it, and there's a different one the way I put a huge avenue. Yeah, I think I move on to that one now. Is this the roundabout one potentially? Yeah, this is the one with the roundabout. So this one, I found this really, I can't remember the name of the asset off the top of my head. I'll put it in the description below. But it's got this really cool kind of like infinity pool. You can kind of see there, it's got an entire floor that's just dedicated to being a swimming pool, which, I mean, I assume that this is based off a real hotel, and if it is, I would love to go there because it's a really cool architectural design. And yeah, I just wanted to make a nice fancy roundabout with a big fountain out the front, and then just populate in with some trees to get rid of some of that generic green space. Add some nice big features within the statues. And this one is actually right next to the tram depot as well. So kind of fitting in with the fact that, you know, these hotels are all for, all have ease of access. Kind of exactly what you want. Every time you go to a new city and you get off if you get out at a train station or somewhere, or a bus station, there's normally some big hotel over the road. So I kind of wanted to keep that in mind with mine. And then this is another really cool asset that I found. It's a really, really tall, gigantic hotel. Again, I'll put a link to the asset on the workshop below. And then, because I didn't want just repeating patterns, because I'd already made the Hilton have a really nice big garden. I've already done the roundabout with the other one. This one I thought, I'll have a nice big long avenue, and then I put loads of floodlights in it, so at night it all lights up and stuff. Yeah, I just had to do a quick detour there because as I was kind of like moving my camera around, I noticed that in the castle area that we did, I think in like the second episode, I noticed like there was an abandoned, burnt out building, and I went and looked, and it was actually the castle keeper that burnt down somehow, which was a bit of a surprise, so I just quickly fixed that up. And this is the kind of the tree avenue I was talking about. This is just one of the like generic car park assets that I found on the store. I've used in I used it a lot in the last series I did in like 2016, but it was a really nice asset. It comes with this really nice stone road. I thought that'd be really nice leading up to the hotel, and then just coloured in some of these dirty areas, just to put a bit of cover in so that it looked nice and green rather than the brown of the dirt that you get on the side of the roads. Added in a lot of trees, and then plonked down all the lights, and then this thing looks really good at night. You might have seen that in some of the intro videos that I did. Yeah, it's got this really lovely kind of spotlight that just goes on it. And then finally, I just wanted to add a bit more detail. Oh, actually no, this isn't finally. I added in these pools to kind of replicate the Las Vegas fountains. Obviously these don't actually fire up into the air, but I thought this would be a really cool like big park area, like more of a plaza where everyone can kind of come in, chill out, their kids can go swimming, all kinds of stuff. And I've put that right next to the bars and the restaurants and stuff. And then the last area that I did was this one is the more generic hotels, so because it's kind of getting more into the city now, I started to I always want like building gradually up, like my building sizes, and then when you get to downtown, when you've got all your skyscrapers, you kind of at the max, and then it would naturally come down out of that. So I found two more skyscraper hotel assets. I put them in there. They were pretty generic ones, and then for the rest, I just populated it with the district lines and then let it fill in. So there you have it. That's my hotel district up and running now. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna be doing for the next episode yet. So if you do have any suggestions, drop them in the comments below. I've still got like an airport to do, and I've got some other ideas that I'm kind of floating about right now. But yeah, I'm glad I'm finally back up and running. I was really worried that I was never going to get my save back and that I would have to restart a series, which was a bit disheartening, but I'm glad that we're actually back up and running now. If you are enjoying this series or you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. That really helped me out. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a dislike and leave some feedback in the comments as to why. I'm hoping that my next video will come a lot quicker than the gap between this one has, but with everything going on right now, we'll have to see about that. So yeah, thank you all very much for watching, and I will speak to you next time. Bye for now.